Okay, let us proceed with section 2. Section 2, or rather section B. Section B says section B says, wait, 60 marks, where you answer any four. For us, we are going to answer all of them for you, so don't worry. So 11A. 1. Explain the term sorting as used in what? As used in C programming data structures. Explain the term sorting as used. So this question comes from a topic called data structures, and I even started by saying that knec in this paper actually they tested much about data structures. So if you're a teacher out there and you're teaching people structure programming, teach them a lot of data structures. It is good. So if you're a student, revise a lot about data structures. So let us proceed. Explain the term sorting as used in C programming. So we want to take you through a procedure where until you understand what sorting is, and then now that is when we will explain it to answer this question. So these questions come from data structures. For university guys, they call it data structures and algorithm. Data structures and algorithm, that is a unit in degree level when you are doing IT, computer science, computer technology, yeah, and even data science. So what are data structures? That is what I will tell you. I'll do for you. Data structures. So what are data structures? What are data structures? We are here with Engineer Beula. She is the one making noise here. Yeah, she is Engineer Beula. Say hi. Stop making noise for people who are listening to the video, yeah? So that is Engineer Beula. Let us proceed. So what are data structures? So it is a way to arrange data in a computers. It is a way to arrange, or a way of arranging data in computer. Data in computer. So you might want to store data in a computer in linear way. In linear way, like for instance using arrays, and even using what? Linked list. I think there was a question in section 1 which was talking about advantages of linked list. You may need to arrange data one on the other, one on top of the other, one on the other. Here we can use something called stack. These are data structures in C. You may need to arrange your data hierarchically, like how folders are usually arranged in computers hierarchically. So here we can use a data structure called what? Tree. So these are the array, linked list, stack, and tree. These are some of the data structures that are available in C language. Now, after understanding that, when you need to understand more, come to our website and read about data structures. Our website is www.mbscollege.co.ke. So let me just proceed and show you something about searching and sorting. Whenever there is sorting, there is searching, so that you may understand the two terms. Maybe this year 2021 they did what? They asked about sorting. Maybe next year they'll ask about searching. So let me talk about searching. So searching in data structures. Searching and sorting. Searching and sorting in data structures. searching and sorting in data what? In data structures. Searching and sorting in data structures. Yeah, okay. So searching refers to a technique. Searching refers to a technique that helps to search a data, that is a certain data element in a given data structure, like for instance an array, while sorting refers to the technique of rearranging the data elements present in a given data structure. Let's say that data structure is an array, so sorting means to rearrange the data elements available in that given data structure. So I think this is the answer that knec needed. They give it 1 mark to define. They needed you to explain the term sorting. So therefore sorting refers to the technique of rearranging the data elements present in a given data structure. Maybe just to proceed, maybe next time they will ask you a different question about some available searching techniques. So I'll add here the searching techniques. When you want to understand this one more, you visit our website. So searching techniques, or request me to do another video, separate video for this. Here we are just answering questions. So we have one searching techniques is called linear search. You need to understand more about it, visit our site. And then another one is binary search. That is the other technique of searching. Sorting also has its techniques. This slide is full. Let me just make another slide and call it sorting techniques. Sorting techniques in data structures. Sorting techniques in data structures. So one of the sorting techniques is bubble sort. We have insertion sort. We have selection sort. We have merge sort, and many more, and maybe quick sort. It is a K or not a J, quick sort. So that is it. So that is just oh, I think we are answering some question here. That is we are answering this. Kumbe. State 4 examples of sorting techniques. Other than defining what sorting is, they're again asking you to state 4 examples of sorting techniques used in data structures. Oh, come on, you're very lucky. I've already given you the sorting techniques available: bubble sort, insertion sort, selection sort, merge sort, and quick sort. Those are some of the sorting techniques in in C. So that we have answered that question. Okay, let us proceed to the next question, which is what? 11b. Okay, 11b says what? The figure figure 1 shows a binary tree having the nodes A, B, C, D, and E. Use it to answer the questions that follow. So this is also still data structures. So under data structures we have binary binary tree. I think I had shown you from my slide data about data structures, advantage of code-by-reference data structures. So we have trees or binary tree, yeah, so tree or binary tree. So therefore this question is also still coming from data structure. So use the figure, using the figure, state two characteristics of the binary tree. So they only need two characteristics. But now, do you really know what binary tree is, or what are binary trees? So to understand that, just go to our website mbscollege.co.ke. then you'll understand what binary trees actually are. So therefore I'll just proceed to do it, to answer the question. So take your time and visit our site. Let us not make the video too long. Yeah, so the characteristics of what? Of binary tree. So one of the characteristics of the binary tree is that each node has a maximum of up to 2 children. So each node has a maximum of up to 2 children. A maximum of up to 2 children, not more than 2 children. So the one of the characteristics, this is a node, so it has up to a maximum of 2 children. It has B and C. C has no child, but it cannot have 3. B has 2 children. So that is what that characteristic means. Okay, then another characteristic is that nodes are hierarchically arranged. So the nodes are what? Hierarchically arranged. This means that, like, we have the parent, then we have the children. This child has grandchildren, so that is now what we call what? Hierarchical arrangement. Then the binary tree normally has what? Has the what we call the root. It has the root of the tree, and you know the root of the tree is not down there. The root of the tree is the topmost node. In this scenario, the node A is the root. So here node A is the root. So those are some of the characteristics. They needed 2, I have given you 3. So those are some of the characteristics of binary tree that they needed in this question. So just as an additional information for those who want to become data scientists and advance in the field of IT, don't think like binary tree as is there in structure programming to make the unit very hard. Now these things are being applied out here, like for instance in peer-to-peer programming, what we normally call the application, let me just say application, the application of binary tree. They are applied in peer-to-peer programming, or networks, or even programming, peer-to-peer programming. They are also in doing search, in search applications. Search means searching information maybe on the net, you know. So the search maybe in Google implements binary tree. It is applied in cryptography, in network routers, those guys who are doing Cisco network routers. It's also applied in 3D videos. If you don't know, 3D video games. Yeah. So those guys who are doing data science understand these things. Okay, that was I think we have answered the whole of question. Oh, not yet. That is question 1A, B. We have done A and B. So we proceed to question 1. Proceed question 1C and D. About, it says differentiate between an assembler and a compiler as used in programming. An assembler and compiler as used in programming. Why am I feeling like this one is almost it's something like something about question 3, outline the disadvantages of low-level programming. So they're a little bit connected. Differentiate between an assembler and an assembler and a compiler. Engineer Beula is making noise here. So differentiate between an assembler and compiler as used in what? In programming. So let us proceed to answer this question here in a new slide. In a new slide. So the difference between assembler and what? Assembler and compiler. The difference between assembler and compiler. So what are they? So the assembler, I just give you the answer, then read more about this concept in our website. So the assembler converts assembly level language code into machine language code. You know, and these are the reason why I am saying they are almost similar to related to question 3, low-level languages. We say that we have machine and assembly language, but computers normally understand machine language. So when you have low-level assembly language, which human beings understand, they use English words to code the language. Then there is need for an assembler to convert the English, print F, do what, add, sub. So those words are supposed to be converted into machine understandable language. So the work of that is the application or program that normally does that functionality of the conversion from assembly language to machine language is which is zeros and ones. That application or program is called what? The assembler. Is called the assembler. Now then the compiler let me close this one. The compiler converts now the high-level language code into, it converts the language into machine language again, into machine language. So we have high-level programming languages and low-level programming languages. So low-level programming languages, which is especially assembly, is converted into machine language using an assembler. High-level languages like Java are usually converted into machine language using a compiler. Maybe another set of difference is that an assembler, the first two are the two differences, then one set of different, then another one here. So the assembler converts the code line by line, while the compiler converts the entire code once. Especially like maybe look at this in Falcon. When we are running a program in Falcon, it is executed once. Like for instance, this one, when you run, it is compiled once, while when it was an assembly language, it is supposed to be, it is usually converted one line by line, convert hash include stdio, convert into main, convert blah blah blah, convert line by line. So that is what it means. You sometimes these things use a lot of technical terms, but they just means simple things. So lastly is 11D, which says explain 3 disadvantages of not following a program development life cycle during the development of a software. This is a question that comes from the steps. This is a question that comes from the steps followed when developing what? When developing an application. This is steps followed when developing an application. Steps followed when developing an application. There is a unit in module 2, a diploma, that is the unit called System Analysis and Design, SAD. Also this question is coming from there, so you need to be all round. But anyway, let us continue and answer this. But you need to understand what are the stages of system development life cycle or what is the development life cycle. First of all, what are the stages, and then now the disadvantages of not following these stages. That is what I will talk about. So I will call this slide SAD. SAD means System Analysis and Design, where we have now I'll call it SDLC, that is software or system. You can use the S, can be software or system development life cycle. So what does this mean? This simply means let me do this. So it refers to the steps to be followed while developing a software or system. So the steps include: 1, problem definition. You must define the problem. Then 2 is you need to do analysis. Then you need to do design. After design, you do the development. After the development, you can do testing. After testing, you can now do the implementation and maintenance. Let me not explain all these things. Come to our website and understand more about them. So let us answer the questions. The disadvantages of not following the SDLC. Disadvantages of not following SDLC. So disadvantages of not following SDLC. Disadvantages of not following SDLC. Disadvantages of not following SDLC. In Ebola is disturbing here. So one is that you end up with the software. If you don't follow these procedures, you end up with a software. You end up with a software working at home whose functionalities are not working as expected. So you may end up with a software that is not working as expected. 2, you may take longer. You may take longer to achieve. You may take longer to achieve. You take longer to achieve the goal of your software. 3, maybe you may end up with the software. Containing errors, because maybe you did not do what? You did not undergo the testing stage. Maybe you did not undergo the testing stage. So then our next question is question 12. Question 12. So 12a states the following. Says this: state the format specifiers. State the format specifiers used with the printf statement to display each of the following: 1, a value of an integer; 2, a string variable; 3, a hexadecimal value. Oh, come on, my friend. 1, there are a number of things you need to be able to comprehend in your mind on this question before you answer it well. 1, what are format specifiers? What are they? 2, do you know printf statement? 3, do you know integer, variable? Do you know hexadecimal values? Let us proceed and answer this question. I will take you through brief explanations, more detailed explanations from our website. So let me talk about format specifiers and then we answer the question. Format specifiers. Oh, come on, spelling. Format specifiers. What are they? First of all, this question comes from that many structures of C. That is the structure of C, not data structures. The structure of C, that is the flow of C and the syntaxes of C. So format specifiers, that is the engineer in the house. Format specifiers tell the compiler about the type of data that must be given as input or output. So they ensure that if there is a given input that will go into the application or an output coming out of the application, they must specify and be strict on the type of data that should come from them. That is either an integer, is it a character, is it a float type? So that is it. So I think now you have an idea there. So the modular sign or the percentage sign or the percentage symbol, this percentage symbol is used in format specifiers. It is used in printf and also scanf function. The format specifiers are used in the printf and also scanf functions. You hope you understand that these are predefined. These are predefined functions in what? In a C program. So I'll give you examples. Now we are answering the question. The question says the format specifiers for integer, for string, and also hexadecimal. Maybe I will give you extra. One, I'll give you percentage. Percentage D is normally used for this one is used for integer. Percentage C for character data type. For string data type, we use %s. %s for string data type. For float, we use %f for float data type. For octal data, we use %o, that is for octal data. If you don't know octal and hexadecimal, so you visit our website. Then for %x, small x, it's supposed to be small x. It is for now hexadecimal. So I think we have now answered that question well. Okay, next is distinguish between top down and bottom up. Bottom up was the main agenda of a certain political coalition in Kenya. So distinguish between top down and bottom up program design approach as used in programming for marks. So what are these things that we are calling bottom up and top down in relation to programming, not politics? So these questions come from also from program development life cycle, the flow of program development. So let me create this slide for you. So now in the top down approach, down approach of program development, a complex algorithm or just a complex program. Let me don't use any complex words. A complex program or a complex application. A complex application program is broken down into smaller segments known as modules, and each module now is worked on separately and then incorporated to form a bigger application later on. That is now what is top down. But the bottom up approach, focuses on designing an algorithm or on designing an application or a software by beginning by the very basic level, level and building up as it goes. That is as the application builds up. So that is the bottom up approach. So we can start developing a software from maybe top down. We have the general idea, the whole idea of how the application should be working. Now we break the application into modules. One, maybe a module for login. Then we even assign tasks to project group members. That hey, you guy, person A will be dealing with the module for login. Person B will be dealing with the module for registering people. So that is what we have the entire structure of how that application should be working after it has been developed, but we break it into modules and then develop. In bottom up approach, we focus on designing the application by beginning from the very basic. We start from the ground going upward. Maybe we start by 1, how to get input, 2, from the user, 3, how to calculate the input, 4, how to display the result to the user, 5, how to ensure that the user is logging in well. So we are starting from down going upwards, so that is bottom up software development approach. So that was question what? Question 12 B. Then we have question 12C that says, state one reason for performing each of the following program testing when developing a program. 1, security. 2, functional. So testing, you see, testing, this one is still in a program development life cycle. So where we have different types of testing, where security and functional testing, there are some of the types of testing that we normally do. So we just proceed to answer the question about testing. Let me answer it from here. Software test. Let me give it software testing. You know, software testing is activities normally done to ensure that the application is working well. So one mechanism of software testing is what? Is security testing. Security testing. So with this, we do testing to check if the program, we check if the developed program, or rather software, is secure from unauthorized, maybe unauthorized access and modification. So the software once developed should only be accessed by those people who are authorized to access it, and then should not be modified by any other personnel who are not authorized. Number 2 is functional testing. Functional testing. Here we do testing to ascertain that all the functionalities in the software are working well as per design specifications. Maybe login is working well, calculations are working well, output is coming out well. So this is to ascertain or to ensure that all the functionalities in the software are working as expected. It is a very much important step in development. Okay. Question 12, that was question 12C. Okay, now we proceed to question 12D. We proceed to question 12D. Question 12D says that Anne would like to include pointers in a program she is writing. Outline 4 advantages of using pointers. In the previous questions, like for instance in question 9, distinguish between a pointer and iterator. I just provided what a pointer is and what an iterator is. Maybe in this question, before we answer it, we can explore more about pointers, and then end up explaining what answering the question or explaining the advantages of using pointers. We cannot explain the advantages before we really know what these pointers is. What are pointers? So in question 9, we had a question talking about pointers. Let me locate it. Locate pointers. Click to add pointers and iterators. So I'm going to create a new slide here that explains much, not just too much, because you have a chance of visiting our website to learn more about pointers. So pointers, and we had said that we will not repeat that pointers is a variable that stores that stores the address of another what? The address of another variable. That is what a pointer. That is what a pointer is. So a pointer can be of any data type. It can be an integer, it can be string, any given data type. Now, let me just proceed to the syntax of declaring a pointer. So the syntax of declaring a pointer, you know, it is also a variable. So what we normally do, the syntax is data type. We provide the data type, and then we provide the star or the asterisk, the shift 8. Then we provide the variable name. The variable name, of course, we must do the semicolon. So the star is called an asterisk. Ahead, it's called an asterisk. Asterisk, yeah. So that is it. Okay, data type is the data type, like for instance integer, character. Then var name is the name of the variable. Of course, it is an identifier. So there are specific operators normally used with together with pointers. There are usually specific operators. Just to enable you to enhance your knowledge on operators here from this platform, there are operators. There are operators used together with pointers in a program. So one of these operators is this one. This is a shift 7. Let me change to Arial. So this one is shift 7. That is the, you will call it a $sign, but here when you talk about pointers, we can call it a unary operator, the unary operator, and the unary operator ampersand. Yeah, the unary operator ampersand. What is its use? It is usually used to return the address, of the variable. They usually to return the address of the variable being pointed to by a pointer. That is a variable whose memory location has been stored. In short, I think I can say that, of a variable whose memory. So return the address of the variable whose address has been stored. It is just a repetition. Okay, so to use to return the address of the variable being pointed to. Okay. Then we have another operator normally used we have another operator usually used by pointers. That is the asterisk, which is shift 8. We can call it the unary operator. The two dashes, I'm just using them to provide a dash so that we can write something. It is not part of the, it is very sensitive. It is not this programming. So the unary operator asterisk, that is its name. It has got two functionalities. It has got two tasks or functionalities, functions. One of the tasks is, you can say A. One of the tasks is to declare a pointer. It is used to declare a pointer. To declare a pointer simply means to create a pointer. Like for instance, e.g., we can do in the data type can provide int, then an asterisk, then followed by the pointer name. So ptr becomes my pointer name. Then part B, oh come on, so part B B so it is okay. Part B, it is used to access the variable stored in the memory address, or the variable being stored to, being pointed to. So the star can also be used to access the value, what is being stored in that variable, the value stored in the memory address, or in the variable being pointed to. Variable being pointed to means this is the variable whose address is being stored by the pointer. Yeah, so that is it. So when I want to display that, we simply say star, we call the pointer by star ptr down. That is the pointer name. Not always that it will point to ptr, even it can be your name, so it can be any identifier. Okay, so maybe I can just provide a small code that explains these all these that we have said. Where am I going? Operators, yeah. So you can make a slide to provide the code that provides an example of the use of pointers. So I can say pointer example. Then I give you this code just to enhance your understanding. Hash include stdio dot h void testing pointers. This one becomes my function. The function has a body. It has an integer variable which is being assigned, which I'm assigning it to 20, and then from there I declare, then put a comment, I declare a pointer. So this is how I declare that was a comment. So this is how I declare my pointer. I say my pointer is of type integer. The pointer should have the same data type as the variable it is pointing to. So it is still going to be of type int, and then an asterisk, and then my pointer name is going to be ptr, or pointer, an abbreviation for pointer. Then I say that this ptr is going to store the value. Let me use Times New Roman. I don't know why it is changing automatically. It's going to store the value, not to store the value, that is dollar. To store the address. The dollar is used to store to return the address. So it's going to return the address of var, that is the variable named what? That is the variable named var. So here, let me just put this for explanation. I'm sorry, let me use a comment and say that this one is that the pointer, this line means the pointer is to store, the address of the variable named var. So it is not storing the value stored in the variable var, but it is storing the address. You know, an address can be something like maybe RRE4, this one, all that can be the address of what? Of a variable. Then from there, maybe you can do some printf. So printf. So the first printf, I want this printf to print the value of pointer. So modulus. So I will use modulus p, that is the modulus p slash n, that is on a new line, to print the pointer. So a comment, this is what this is going to do is to print the value. It is going to print the value of the pointer, which is the memory. It will print the memory address of var. Then if we say print f percentage %d into quotation %d slash n, that is on a new line, comma asterisk pointer. So a comment, what is going to do is print, since we are using an asterisk, this is going to print, or let me just say it is going to access and display. We're going to access and display the value stored in the memory address. In the memory address ptr is pointing to, which is the address of the var. Then lastly, maybe print f into quotation modulus d slash n. Okay, var is now prints the value stored in a variable var. ptr accesses and displays the value stored in that memory address. ptr minus the star displays the address itself. Then var here, this one also displays the value, so displays the value stored in var, in variable var. So you see, it looks like okay. Okay, that is it. So you can end that function and then have an int main. And main has a body, so you can now here we can call our function. We call our function by its name, testing pointers. So we call a function is to trigger a function so that it can do what? So that it can be executed. So call it by its function, by its name, semicolon. Let me just give you a comment here that this one we are calling the function. Why do you call the function? So that it can be executed. Calling the function by its name. Return 0 and then do what? And the application. So good people, this is now the example of how pointers are. So you can see that we are using the unary operator $ to do what? To return the address of the variable stored. So here ptr, the pointer ptr is storing the $var, means that is storing the address of var. So that will, I think we have answered that question well. Still we have not answered what knec needed. It needs advantages of using pointers. I was just taking you through pointers so that you understand what pointers are. So let me put a new slide for now, the advantages. The advantages to aerial. Advantages of pointers. or advantages of using pointers in a program. Advantages of using pointers in a program. So one, we can have say that pointers can be used for dynamic memory allocation. Pointers can be used for dynamic memory allocation. Pointers can be used for dynamic memory allocation, thus achieving flexibility. Then can be used for efficiently access array elements. Can efficiently access array elements. If you want to know more about arrays, visit our website. It is useful for accessing memory location. Useful for accessing memory location. And last we can say that it is used to form complex data structures. Used to form complex data structures, such as what? You know, data structures, we have talked much about them: linked list and much more, trees and much more. Guys, anything that has advantages has disadvantages. Maybe next time knec is going to ask you about the disadvantages of pointers. So I'm not going to explain them here. Visit our website, which is what? ambscollege.co.ke, to understand more about what? Pointers. So we have answered the question, advantages of using pointers. Okay. Let me pause. Okay, we proceed to question 13. 13a. The following is the syntax of a structure statement in a C program. Use it to answer the question that follows. So, structure in a C program. So what is a structure? I think we had talked about a structure in some previous questions. I can't just remember which one. Constant operators, logical operator, high level programming, escape, pointers and iterators, pointers, functions, call by value, faster processing, searching. These are data structures. I think that was data structures. Okay, let's just proceed to answer the question as it is. The following is the syntax of a structure statement in C. So do you know what structure is? This question comes from data types. Data types in C or data types in C++. There are usually categories of data types. We have built-in or simple data types like integer, character, string. Those are built-in data types. Then you have user-defined data types, where we have array, functions, and even structure. Come into our website and understand more about this. So let us proceed with the structure. So let me just explain something small. Then before we answer the question, use it to answer the question. Student dot. They don't forget that there is a dot here. So student dot first name. So state the function of the dot operator in the statement, 2 marks. So we're going to explain that. But before that, you need to be able to understand what is the structure. And then we need to be able to answer the question. So let me create a slide. And this slide is now going to be talking about what? Talking about structure. Structure. It looks like an English word. So structure is where do you find this knowledge? You find this knowledge under data types, and under categories of data types. Under categories of data types, we have built-in data types, normally referred to also simple data types, and we also have now user defined data types. So therefore, structure is an example of e.g. structure, array, function. Those are some of the examples of user defined data types. Straight to the syntax. More about this one you will be finding in our website. So straight to the syntax of a structure. Like for instance, you have been given student. So let me just say struct name, structure name dot element name, structure name dot element name. Okay, so this is just the syntax, and an example is what you have been given in that question where you have students. So students is the structure name, then dot first name. Dot first name. You can see this one here. Student dot first name. So therefore, what does this one mean? So the dot operator, this dot, the dot operator is being used to access the value stored in the variable first name, which is a member of the structure, named student. So that is the work of that dot operator. It is usually used between the structure name and the member name. So if you want to know more about this one, you visit our website. We have documented there more about structured programming, about the use of structure. Now we proceed to question 13b. Explain the function of each of the following declared function prototype statements in a C program. So you've been given two functions, float area int, and float sum int. So you just need to explain the function of each of them. So how is it working? Okay. You need to understand more about functions, what functions are, how functions are normally declared. But now let me just proceed and answer the question. That when you have a function float area into bracket int. So here we say that this is a function named, this one declares, or this statement declares a function named area of type float having two arguments of type integer. That is of type integer. That is the work of that statement. Then this statement just testing if you know the syntax of declaring a function. Int sum, the second one is int sum, into bracket int. This one is declaring a function, is declaring a function named sum of type integer having a single argument of type integer still. So these are the arguments: int, then this is the name of the function, area and sum, then this is the return type of the function. Read more about functions from our website to understand more about functions. Okay. Now let us proceed to the next question, which is 13C. A student used expressions. Guys, you need to read. You guys who are in TVET and you're doing knec, you really need to read and understand these things. Not just reading, but doing a lot of research. A student used expressions in a C program that he developed. You know, this is knec. I've learned 3 types of expressions that may have been used. So you know you cannot outline expressions if you don't understand what are expressions. You know, they're actually simple things, but they're using we are using now the C. We are speaking the C language, and you know you cannot understand the C language if you don't do research, and you cannot write the C language if you cannot speak it. You normally write English because you can speak English, so you cannot write the language C if you cannot speak it. So expressions is not English. Expressions here is a C language. Now let us start by understanding what expressions is, or what is an expression. Okay. What is an expression? So expressions in C. So what is an expression? So an expression is a formula in which I will use a technical word, operands, in which operands are linked to each other by the use of operators. Yeah. E.g. A minus B, that is an expression. So where A and B are operands, while the minus is an operator. Okay, now we are I think next is to answer the question. Outline 3 types of expressions. So types of expressions in C. So number 1 is we have arithmetic expressions. These are for mathematical purposes. Example is A plus B. That is a arithmetic operation. We have got relational expression. We have got number 2 is a relational expression. They actually use relational operators to compare 2 operands. Like for instance, I explained this one by the time we were talking about the relational operators. So A is equal to B. So that is to compare if A is equals to B. We can also say we compare if A is not equal to B. That is read as A is not equal to, this is A is equals to B, this A is not equals to B. I hope you've gotten. Then another third, maybe the third one is the number 3 is logical expression. So logical expression are used in decision making, and they use logical operators. Like for instance, x being, we make a decision whether x, let me start this way, that x should be greater than 4, and now this is the and is now the logical operator being used here, and and x is less than maybe 9. So that is a logical expression to make a decision. We are going to do something only if x is greater than 4 and x is less than 9. That is logical operation. Then the fourth one is conditional expression. Conditional expression that is used to provide condition. The best example is to check if the condition is true or false and do something. One of these is the if statement. Like for instance, if student marks is greater than 80, if student marks is greater than 80, a function normally has a body, printf that your grade is an A. So that is it, and then close the body. So this if statement is a conditional expression. So I hope I have helped you to understand that concept that was being tested there by knec. Okay, now we can proceed to the next question, which is 13D. It says, write a C program that would prompt for 5 numbers, one after the other, and print the sum of the numbers using an array. Write a C program that will prompt for 5 numbers, one after another, and print. So this question is testing one. Do you know how to prompt a user to enter a number? Of course, we use printf to prompt someone. Do you know how to store the number that has been entered? You see here we are looping. We must loop. We must do iteration. I think there's a question where I explained iteration. We were asking, the question was talking about iteration or iterator. I think the difference between I think that was question 9, the difference between pointer and iterator. So iterator is something like a loop, is a looping. For loop is one of the best loop normally used by developers. So now there is looping here. That is why this question is 6 marks. That is a lot of it is a lot of marks. 6 marks is many one. Looping 1, declaring variables, many of the things being tested here. So prompting someone. Do you know how to prompt someone to enter a value? Do you know how to store that value? So that is why 6 marks is coming there. So we're going even to do this one from Falcon so that we can test. So let me just proceed with the Falcon. I'll just erase this one. So your program should be written like hash include standard input output dot h std okay, standard input stdio, it is supposed to be std standard input output, yeah. dot h. Okay, then I'll have an int main, that is the main function. Okay, generating. So the main function, that is the beginning of execution of a program. Then I'll have my int I. I will use I for looping, so it must be declared. If you don't declare it, you'll get an error that says I was not declared in this program. Okay, then I will declare num. Num will be variable to store the value being entered by someone. Then I will declare sum, which will be the summation of these values, and since we are going to be incrementing the sum as somebody is entering the value, so we must assign it a value in early stage. So we will assign sum to 0, so we will be incrementing it while looping. Okay, from there I will ask someone to enter the first value, so printf, and asks the user of my application to enter a number, then move to the next line, that is /n. We have talked much about that one. Then from there, so this line printf enter a number is prompting somebody. That is now what we are calling prompt. Once you prompt, you need to store the value, so you store the value using scanf. So since it is an integer being entered, we will use modulus d, then comma, then the num, that is now we want to store inside the variable num. Then from there, once that number, you have entered the first number, that number should be sum should increase from 0 to plus equal to your num, so to plus equals to the num that you have entered as the first value. Then from there, then we will now have to loop 4 times. We have entered the first number, now we will have to loop 4 times so that you enter the next 4 values. So I will loop using the for loop. So I'll say that for I is equals to 1. That you need to understand the structure of a for loop. There are usually questions. knec normally sets questions about the structure of the for loop. So you need to come to our website and read more about the structure of a for loop. So just use it for I is equals to 1. My I should now be less than or equals to 4, because I want to look from 1, 2, 3, 4. The previous one was the first one, so then plus the 4, those are 5 values. Then I increment I plus plus, that is incrementing. A for loop normally has a body, so inside the body I will printf. Inside the body I will printf that you enter another number. I will tell somebody to enter another number, so enter another number. Do not then after you enter, you will be entering in a new line that other number. Then from there, that again it should be stored, so it should be stored. I'll copy this one, it will be stored. Okay, I will need scanf. I will need this scanf to store. What is my mouse doing? I will need the scanf. I think my mouse, let me use I will use the scanf and the sum to increment the sum, so I will need both of them. So I just copy. I will copy them. Okay, I'm doing something here. I think I will just copy this one and then put them here. Okay, so that now I store the value that has been entered again, and then increment the sum, which is now here. When I enter 5, sum here becomes 5. When you enter 6 again, sum becomes 6 plus the 6, and 5, the previous 5 plus the 6. Okay, then I proceed that once we do that, we will exit the loop. So I am now outside the loop. You can see I get outside the loop and now display the result printf that the sum of your values, the sum of all values is space, it is of type integer, it is of type integer, and it is being stored inside sum as a function, as a variable. So that is what will be displayed. So this is the statement to display now the sum. So therefore let us test and see. Let us give it time. Falcon is not responding. Let us give it time. Let us give it time. Let us give it time. Okay, so I can see, let me zoom. Okay, you can now see enter a number. So I will enter the first number, 2. Why is it not asking me for another number? I think something wrong has happened. On line 6, I'm being told that there is an error in line 6. Scan F modulus D, then store inside num. I'm doing the dollar sign here. Dollar sign num. Then let us test again. So enter a number. Let me zoom again. Okay, I enter 2, and then yeah, it is okay. It is now working. So enter a number, then enter another number. That is where you wanted the loop. So I'll be told enter another number like 4 times plus the first one, and now they become 5. So 2 again maybe. Oh, the problem. This on line 11 from a D expects an int. On line 11 scanf $d. Oh, I need the dollar sign here again. Okay. Need a dollar sign, this structure and the flow of a program. So let me zoom again, and hope this is the last time. So 2, enter another number, 2, another one, there's a 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th one. Then you are told the sum of all values is 10. So that is it. You can close this one. So this is the application that they needed you to create 6 marks. So if I was somebody marking this, I could have checked 1 if you have declared the variables well, 2 if you have prompted someone, 3 if you are looping, 4 if you are using incrementing operator plus equal to. So many other things here to get, so that you can get your 6 marks. So that was question what? Question 13. Okay. Question 13. I think there were not many questions to. Okay, let us proceed to now question 14. Let us proceed to question 14. So question 14 says, 14a, outline 3 advantages of structures in a C program. I think so we have already introduced structures in 13a. That is where we were given the syntax, a certain syntax in structure, and asked about the dot operator. So you need to understand much about structure. You need to have an in-depth understanding, and you see they are asking this inner thing in structure, like for instance the dot in question 13. In question 14, again structures, 3 advantages of using structures. So I had already explained what structures are. Let me see from here the structure. The topic is data types, a category of data types where we have built-in and user-defined. So structure is Did I even define a structure for you? Okay, let me define structure for you. Let me create another new slide here for you that still talks about structure. Continuation. Let me zoom. Yeah, and then make this one come to here. Okay, so a structure is defined as a user. It is a user defined data type. User defined data type, and it is a collection. It is a collection of multiple data, items of different data types, referenced by a single name. You know, while in some you'll get some questions about the difference between structure and an array. So let me just tell you why. An array is a collection of data items, but of same data type, and one name. So an array will contain many different data elements or data items, but they should have the same what? They should have the same name. But for a structure, the data elements or data items are under one name, but they are different. There is a chance of them being of different data types. You can also store strings, integer, character, many more under one name. But for arrays, if it is an integer, all the values should be of type integer. So that is what it means. Let me just provide you with an example of structure. In a program. I will not provide the whole program, just a segment. So we normally define it using the word struct. Struct is a keyword used to define a structure. So we can have struct students, and this structure is I'd like this. So in this structure we can have maybe character, names of students. This is character name. This is an array to store 60. This is a name for this is a string for names of students with 60 characters. So it is a string. Then we can have an integer admission number. We can have float, score or marks, and then lastly, so that will be there. Yeah. So that is an example of a structure in a C program. So now the question does not need this one, but I'm just giving you because sometimes you will have to be able to explain some of these things in your coming papers. So let us now answer the question: advantages of what? Advantages of structures in a C program. Advantages of structure in a C program. Okay. Advantages, new slide. advantages of structure. Let me do these and then these. So advantages. So advantages of structure in C program. So one of the advantages of structure in C program is that structure normally bundles. It bundles information. It bundles information about an entity. About an entity. Entity here being an example, the students, or student is an entity. So information about an entity, first name, second name, your admission number, the fee, balance. Those are the information of the attributes. So it bundles the information about an entity into what? Into one place, or into one storage location, or into one storage. Then unlike an array, you cannot store all this information because they are of different data types. So student name, student marks, they are different data types, so cannot be stored in an array. Two is that structures represents a single record. A record is a collection of data. So a single record with only one name. With only one name. So a record is a collection of information about you. Your record is, like, as a student, your record is your first name, your second name, your course, the module you are, the fee, balance, all those information. So all your records can be stored under one name. Unlike in variables, where we'll need a variable for your first name, we need a second variable, second name, student marks, CG score, what. So all that. Then another advantage is that now, since it is all this information is being stored under one name, we can pass complete set of information. Complete set of records. We can pass complete set of records to any function. Using a single parameter. I have always told you that when you want to understand about functions, you want to understand about parameters of functions, and function arguments, and passing values to functions, pass by value, pass by reference, then go to our website and read more information about these things, because knec will still examine you about these things. So do that. Anything that has advantages never lacks disadvantages. Let me give you some disadvantages of structure in C. I'll say that one is that can be complex to manage, can be complex to create and manage. Yeah, they need a lot of understanding of the concept. Then they are slower, as requires storage space for all the data in it, so it can be slower, as it needs storage space for all the data in it. That will give you the two of them. So that was number 14. 14A. So outline 3 advantages of structure. So how many have I given you? I've given you 3. Yeah, find out more. Then we proceed to question 14B. Question 14B says, let me see. Jen documented a program she developed using a C programming language. Describe 3 types of documentations she may have included. 6 marks. This is very easy. Which documents do you make when you develop a program? 1, user manual. You need that is very simple. User manual. You'll have to develop a user manual for the end user. You will have to create the process documentation, maybe for your fellow developers to understand the process flow, and many other documentations. Let me give them to you. So let me insert a new slide. I think I should go to the so a new slide here, and talk about program documentations. Program documentations. So this question actually comes from also from program development stages or program development life cycle. Documentation for software development. Documentation for software development is the written material. Is the written material created by a developer created by the developer to track a software's production, and use from start to end, from start to end. Maybe just something again to understand that software development documentation helps developers and even their colleagues and the users to be able to understand how the software works, works. So now let us answer the question: types of documentation. Number 1, we have the user manual. The user manual is a guide of how to use developed program or software. Number 2, let me just explain because they need explanation. So it is a guide to use the developed application. Okay. Then number 2 is requirements documentation. Requirements documentation. This one is outlines what the program or software needs so as to operate effectively. Maybe the third one is process documentation. So with this one documents the logical end of the program. the logical end of the program, the logical back of the program. It helps to follow fellow developers to understand the program structure and its flow. So those are some of the 3 documentations. You can find more from our website. Okay, now we go to question C, 14C. Write a C program that will display the following pattern when executed. Use a for loop statement. I think I have never seen a knec programming paper that lacks a question on patterns. So there are many different patterns. We have those ones that with Pascal triangle, we have those ones that so visit our site. We have documented there different patterns and how they are coded. So with this one, I'll just answer your question by giving you the code. We will code in Falcon so that you're able to see. So let me open this one. Let me open Falcon, and then we do the code. Okay. So the code must always start with what? The code must always start with the hash include. Okay, let us proceed with writing the code. So hash include, like always. The video is dark. Okay, hash include. I hope you are seeing me. I'm dark. So hash include standard std, standard input output.h. Then int main. The main has, I normally forget that this program of mine is auto completing. So int main. So we'll create 2 variables, 3, int I, int n first of all for number of rows, I for the number, and then j. Then I will printf enter the number of rows. So enter the number of rows. Okay, close the quotation. Then I store using scanf. Error here, it is scanf. So what we are scanf is the number to be entered should be an integer, that is modulus d. Then store using $n, that is to that variable n, that is the number of rows to be stored there. Now then start looping that for I is equals to 1, so we are starting counting from 1, and this I should be less than the number of rows, less than or equal to the number of rows. Then increment the I, that is you need the knowledge of the structure of a for loop. Whenever that happens, we don't need the j. I'm sorry. So what we will be doing is that we will be printing f. So print f will be outputting the value, which a value of type integer will be outputting the 2 values. So I will put $d twice. Percentage d. We are outputting a decimal value twice percentage d, close quotation. So that is the value stored in I and the value stored in I again. So that is what will be our output. Then we will have to provide a new line. So printf quotation \n, that is just to have to print a new line. So let us test our program. Hope we don't have an error. Oh, we have an error, scanf. Oh, this is not supposed to be a dot, it's supposed to be a comma. That is a typo and a syntax error. Okay, so let me zoom. So I want the cursor to come to the next line, so I'll just edit the code again a little bit to add enter the rows, the number of rows, then I'll put \n so that the cursor moves now to the next line of the output screen. Yeah, like this. So the /n, previously without /n it was here, then with the /n it is here. So now enter the number of rows. I need maybe 4 of them, then I will have 1 1 2 0 3 3 4 4, and that is what they needed. 1 1 2 2 3 3 4 4 6 marks. And you see how short the code is. So if you can invest in knowing how to write codes, then you can get a lot of marks in knec. Especially this, sometimes when knec has write a program in every question, from question especially from let's say question in section A, you can have maybe 3 write program. Then you come to section B, every question, let's say question 11, part D or part C, write a program. Question 12, part C or part D, write a program. Like that one up to the 5 questions. So the questions having a write program have a lot of marks. So, and you write only short code. So if you can invest much in knowing how to write code, then you can earn a lot of marks in your paper. So that was we have answered that. This is the code. Let me zoom. I think to zoom is to be here. I can zoom from here. Is it view? Yeah, view, zoom, control, then plus. So control plus. Yeah. Yes. So you can have a look at the code. That is it. Okay, that was question 14. See, let us go to 15. So question 15 says that 15a, distinguish between printf and put character as used in C programming. So distinguish between printf and put character function as used in C programming, 4 marks. So these questions come from predefined functions in C. So you see, you need to understand functions, types of functions. We have predefined functions and also have user-defined functions. So this question come from predefined functions. So just go straight to answer it. You know what a function is. So let me just proceed to answer this question from here. So this question is about functions. This question is about functions, especially predefined functions in C. So printf, the printf function, so it is a predefined function. It is used to generate output, to generate or rather print. Let me use the word display, to display output on the screen. Output on the screen. So it outputs any value of any data type. We normally use it to prompt someone to do something, the use of the application, or even to output some results of maybe calculation or any other thing. any other form of output. Before get the putca, let me talk about scanf. It is good to talk about it. So scanf is a function. It is a function. Even printf is a function, so it is a function used to store input, or used to take input from the keyboard. Used to take input from the keyboard. Enter a number. Then you enter a number. That number is stored in using scanf. Then lastly, what they needed, which is put character. This one is used to write a character on the screen. So it is used to write a single character. Used to write a single character. So that is what they needed. More about this one, go to functions, read functions, types of functions, user defined, predefined functions, structure of creating a function, and all that. So now 15b, explain the function of each explain the function of each. Now here function, this is an English word function, the work of. The other one here is function, is a data type, a user defined by data type in C++. Yeah. So explain the function of each of the following commands in a C program. We have curly braces, return 0, and hash include std. So this question is about the structure of the C program, the structure of a C program. So we'll proceed to answer it. So we have curly braces. So let me answer from, can I answer from here? So this question is about the structure of C program. Let me start with the curly braces. The curly braces. Curly braces means curly brackets, these ones. So these ones, the curly braces, they used to signify the start and end of a body or of a series of statements. Statements means lines of codes, like e.g. in a body of a function, loops, if statement. Yeah, we use it there. Number 2 is return 0. Let me go to that. Number 2 is return 0. Return 0 is used to ensure the program only executes or runs, let me use the word runs successfully only when there is a zero error in the application or in the program. Then lastly is the hash include stdio, that is standard input output .h. So this one it is a header file. It is a header file. It is a header file that includes input and output related functions in our program, or in SC program. Examples of input and output related functions is printf, scanf. So you see these two questions are following up each other. Okay, that is what these guys needed. Lastly is write a program that accepts the string of 10 characters and prints the first and last character of the string. Write a program that, so this is coming from string manipulation functions. This is a question that comes from a topic called string manipulation functions, where you need to understand one of the functions called string len, which is used to get the length of a string. Like for instance, the word string has how many characters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters. So therefore the string len returns 6, which is the length of that character. That is the knowledge we'll be using to solve this need to answer this question. So it is a code. We will do it from Falcon C++. So let us proceed. Let me open a new one here. So file, new, C file. Okay, so we'll have hash. Let me zoom. I think that one is enough. So hash include standard input and output.h. Then I'll have I can add a hash include string .h, hash include string.h. Then I can have my int main. Oh, I normally forget my int main. Now I declare my string as character, my string, that is my string, so character my string, and we have been told that it's going to have 10 characters. Then I printf enter your string, enter your string in a new line /n. Enter your string. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit that everything appears on the screen here. Okay. Then store using scanf. Store your string using scanf. We use what? Modulus s for string, and we store it inside a dollar, which is $7 my string. After that, we go to now the program needs us to get to put, if you enter Kevin, then the first character is K and N is the last character. So therefore we need to get to say that int FC will be first character. So my first character is going to be my string, to be inside my string on index 0. That is my first character, while my last character, which is going to be int LC, last character, is going to be equals to the result of string len is going to be in a position string len str len position string len if inside my string yeah, inside my string inside my string, then -1. So the length of the string -1, because the position start, if there are 6 characters, let's say Kevin has let me just write here to elaborate. I remove Kevin has got 1 2 3 4 5 characters. So the first character is on position 0 0. So since string len returns 1 2 3 4 5, so therefore the n is on position 0 1 2 3 4. So therefore if string len this one returns 4 minus 5 minus 1 to get a 4. That is what that one means. Okay, I think we can now proceed. So so this is last character index, not the last character itself, but the last character index. But this one is the first character, is in index 0. Okay, then from there I will now say that you can now print f. You can now print f. You can print f. Ensure you print a character, the first character, and the last character as one being the first character, and the last one being a character that exists in position in my string, a character that exists in my string in the position LCI, in the position last character index. So that is it, and then I do this. Yeah, so let us see. Do you want to override it? Yes. So let me zoom. So 10 characters. Something that has 10 characters is what? Let me say Kevin has 1 2 3 4 5. Let me repeat again. Kevin. So Kevin has 5 characters. So we enter. We have K. So 1 2 3 4 5. So it has given me K and K. 1 2 3 4 5. I think is let me repeat again. Kevin. Okay, yeah, it's going to give me K and N as the last character. Kevin. So that is it. Yeah. Let me repeat again. Kevin. K and K. You're giving me, not giving me the last one. If only if I print, I say Kevin once. Okay, let me say Michael. Michael has how many characters? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. I get M and L. Yeah, it is working okay. So that is what knec needed from you. Yeah, that is the code. Imagine just a very short code, and then you earn your how many marks? You earn your 5 marks. You earn your 5 marks. So thank you guys. If you will be in need of maybe this slide and well documented slide answering this question, which are not in form of video but either in form of PDF or in form of PowerPoint, then you can just get to me via maybe my email, which is let me give you my email here. You can get to me via contact my name is Michael Buibo, and my email is buibo michael 7 at gmail.com. The website about this tutorial, the website talking about revision, the website that presents a review with the revisions and learning content is called mbis college.co.ke. That is the website, mbis in small letters, mbis college. Yeah, that is the website. Then you can also now reach to me via 0725327856. So if you need a documented PDF for this past paper, that is the answers. I know the questions, you can get them from even easytvet.com. Also, if you want a website to be developed for you, you can also get to me. And if you want to learn how to develop websites, you also need to get to me. So thank you so much for listening to my video. Subscribe, what else, comment, and don't forget to like. So thank you so much.